Good morning, everyone. Myself, Kiran. I am from GM University, and these are my colleagues. Today, we are going to explain, with help of C programming, calculating the large digit number with the help of C programming and its data structure. He is Venkatesh and Nikhil, Chinmay, and Nandan, and Kiran. It's me. We are going to explain that how our code exactly works and not wasting a lot more time. We get dive into our topic, and here you can see this is our code. First of all, we have a studio, include studio, which is a standard library function used for printing, scanning data, and we have a std library, which is helpful for dynamic memory allocation for like malloc, dalloc, freeing the data, and we have third one limits, which is helpful for defining an uh, int under slash max the integer type. uh, the major problem arises in solving this problem. We should convert this test file into matrix. So we are using help of matrix operation. I think you are well known about matrices, which includes rows, columns, and data, which is in the file. We are going to solve, make it a product of it. This is a structure of matrix, and these are the functions used for calling, making operation of a product of these test1 and test2 the input files. First, we have a read matrix from file. Here, the when we give an input file like this is a test1 file and test2 file, these are the paths of a two file. These are converted into matrix. It means here function first in this reading a matrix from file. Here in this function, the file is converted into a matrix, and created matrix is it in second one function creating matrix. The matrix which is read by a file, which is created by allocating a memory allocation. If we get an error in allocating memory, uh, we are making it free. At the end, after doing this operation, we get our output. We will freeing it, vacating it memory, because to make efficient work of a RAM. And as I said, our main aim is to make multiply of these matrices, which are made from in file data, which includes constant matrices mat1 and matrix 2, and we will write matrices into file. uh, as I said, our main intention is to multiply matrices. First, after multiplying matrices are converted into files, because we give an input in a file form, so we need output in a file form. It's make us a streamlined manner. And last, we have to print matrix, and we need to display our output. Getting into the main function, here we are having defining three characters: char file one and file two, and result under slash file. Here we have an path of a first input file. I am going to show what it is. Here you can see test one. This is a file having more than 150 digit number, and test 2, we are getting this path in here by clicking right. Just a second, you can see we can copy the path here, and we are going to paste it over here. This is a path 1 and part 2. uh, Now this is a result. Will the result file automatically loaded into our database. We are getting in file manager. And next, we are going to read matrix from the file. As I said, we are calling reading matrix from the file. We are reading matrices from file number 1 and file number 2, and printing. If we get an error during reading, we will display that we are getting an error for while reading. It returns to 1. And next we further main intention is result. Result or result is a nothing but calling function of a multiplying under slash matrices, multiplying of mat1 and mat2. Mat1 or mat2 are nothing but here I said mat1 is a reading matrix of a file 1 and mat2 is a matrix which are get it from reading matrix from file number 2. In line number 36, if no, we not didn't get result, if the result is denied, if we get an error or we couldn't calculate the multiplication of these matrices, we will display it will display that matrix multiplication failed, and you need to check the dimensions of matrix, and it will return to 1. And write matrix to file. And at the end, we are displaying the matrix into file. Here, calling function as I said in a function declaration over top. We are calling the this function over here. Printing the result at the end as a result file. After doing these exercises, we are freeing the matrix. We are freeing the memory, which is very essential as using scratch and cleaning it. Uh, next, my friend Venkatesh explains further more about this code. I would like to invite him. Venkatesh, you can.
Thank you, Kiran. You have explained wonderful about how to implement a matrix and how to multiply the matrix. And you named the file. File one has Kiran Sindhi and file number two has Kiran Sindhi, and it is executed. And I am going to explain about the write the matrix file. And in here on line number 41, 41 to 50, write the result to the file. uh, Write the matrix to the specified file. In line number 43, prints a confirmation message that the result has been saved to the file. In a clear up in a line number 46 to 48, frees the memory allocated from the matrix and named as a mat1 and mat2, and the result is prevented to the memory leaks. In line number 50, it returns 0, indicated successfully execution of the program. And in line number 53, uh, it tries to open the specified file from reading the unsuccessful prints and error message using a prior or a returns to the null. In line number 61 and 66, reads the memory of the rows and the columns of the matrix to the from the file. If the reading dimensional fails, prints an error, closes the file and returns to the here. And the reading is fails, and it returns to the it returns to the null or the closes the file. In line number 68 to 72, create a matrix to allocate a memory from the matrix with the read dimension. If a memory allocation fails, the closes the file and returns to the null. In line number 74 and 83, needs the matrix elements from the file into the allocated memory matrix using a nested loops. Here it uses the nested loops to iterate through the rows and the columns, as we know. In line number 76 and 81, if reading any elements fails, prints an error, closes the file, frees the allocated memory using free matrix, and returns to the null. Here it frees the allocated memory using free matrix and returns to the null. And in line number 85 and 86, it closes the file using the fclose syntax and returns the pointer to the newly created matrix. And finally it we know that we got that writing the result of a matrix multiplication to the file, clears of the feeling allocated memory, and opens the files and reads the matrix dimension, allocates the memory of the matrix, and reads the matrix elements into the allocated matrix, closes the file and returns the matrix. In the step fails, it indicates an error, closing the file and feels the freeing the memory appropriately. Uh, it can handle the essential tasks for the matrices. I hope all of you understand. And next, my friend Chinmay going to explain about next code. Chinmay, you can continue the next.
Hi everyone, myself Chinmay from AML department. My function is to create a matrix. Uh, create this create a matrix is create a matrix structure and allocate memory for its in line number 90. Function name and parameters. Create matrix is the function name, and intros and in calls are parameters representing the numbers of rows and columns for the matrix respectively. And in line number 91 to 94, matrix structure allocation allocates memory for a matrix structure using malloc. Size of matrix determines the size needed for the matrix structure, and checks if malloc was successfully. If not, it prints an error message using error and returns null. And in code number line number 97 to 98, matrix rows and matrix columns sets the rows and columns members of the matrix structure to the values provided as parameters. And in the line and in the line number 100 to 105, matrix data rows allocation. It allocates memories for an array of an int pointers, and it checks if malloc is successful. If not, it prints an error message using error. Frees the previous allocated matrix structure using free and returns null. And in line number 107 to 120, matrix columns elements allocation iterates over each row and allocates memory for each column and checks if malloc was successfully. If not, it prints an error message using error. Frees previously allocated memory. Freeze uh, freeze matrix data and before returning null. And in line number 116, uh, return statement: if all memory allocation were successfully, return the matrix pointer now fully allocated with rows, columns, and data elements. And this function create matrix ensures that dynamic memory allocation for a matrix structure in C, handling potential errors at each step of the allocation process. It ensures that all allocated memory is properly managed and cleaned up in case of any allocation failure, making it robust for creating matrices for varying size of runtime. And next, my Nikhil will going to explain about this code.
Thank you, Chinmay. Myself, Nikhil, I am from CS department, AML department. My friend Chinmay explained about create a matrix. I am explaining about free matrix. In line number 124, this is a begins of the functions free matrix, which returns a pointer to a matrix structures as a parameters. In line number 125, this starts a for loops that iterates through the each row of the matrix using matrix rows inside the loops. It frees the memory allocated from each row of the matrix using free matrix data. In line number 126 to 128, after freeing all rows, it frees the memory allocation from the data array itself using free matrix data. In line number 129, final, it free the memory allocation from the matrix structures itself by calling free matrix. This function's free matrix is responsible for the freeing all the memory allocation from the matrix structures, including the matrix data and the structure itself. It first iterates through the each row of the matrix to free the memory allocated from each rows. After freeing all rows, it frees the memory allocated from the array holding these rows. Finally, it frees the memory allocated from the matrix structures. This ensures that the memory associated with the matrix is properly related to the avoid memory leaks. In line number 133, this is the begin of the functions multi-matrix, which takes two constant matrix pointers, matrix 1 and matrix 2, as a parameters and returns a pointer to a matrix. In line number 134, it first checks if the number of columns of a matrix 1 does not match the number of rows of matrix 2. If they do not match, it print an error message to starts and returns null, indicating the matrix multiplication cannot proceed. In line number 139, in that calls create matrix 1 and matrix 2 to create a new matrix structures result with a dimension suitable to hold the multiplication result. In line number 140, if the create matrix fails, it result comes null. In it result comes null from the multiple matrix, it indicates an error. In line number 144 to 156, this netted loop started performs the actual matrix multiplications. In line number 147 to 153, nested loops calculates each element of a result by summarizing the product of corresponding elements for matrix 1 and matrix 2. In line number 153 to 158, updating the results, which is the product of matrix 1 and matrix 2. In line number 158, after successfully completing the multiplications, it returns the pointer to result, which now holds the multiplication matrix. This function's multiplier matrix checks if the matrix multiplications is feasible based on dimensionals. If feasible, it creates a new matrix to store the multiplication result. It then iterates through each element of computing the product using nested loops and check the for iterating overloops. If overflow is dedicated during computations, it cleans up and runs null and returns nulls. Otherwise, it returns the pointer to the multiplied matrix. This function ensures proper error handling the memory management during matrix multiplications. And the next code is explained by Nandan.
Thank you, Nikhil. As my friends explained above the code, let me explain the further. And this is the last part of our code. In line number 162, this line defines the beginning of the function. It takes two parameters. First one is file name and another one is matrix. File name, a pointer to connect a characters array, specific the name of the file to write to. And the second one is matrix, a pointer to constant matrix struct which contains information about the matrix to write to the in the file. And the next line 163 tells this line declares a variable of file of type file and open the file specified by the file name in write mode. Function attempts to open the file, it's successful. It returns a pointer to the file stream, otherwise it returns to the null. If it is successful, it opens, otherwise it returns to the null. And coming to the next line 164 to 167, these lines checks if the opening was successful. If the file is null, it means f open failed to open if file. In such a case, it prints an error message using error, indicating the failure reason failed to open file of writing, and then returns to the function. And coming to the next line 169, assuming matrix is a struct containing the numbers of rows. Here the matrix contains the rows and the columns. This line writes the dimension of the matrix to the file in the format rows columns followed by the new line. This is typically done to indicate the dimension of the matrix when reading in the back from the file. And coming to the lines 170 to 175, this line looks through each element of the matrix and write each elements to the file. The outer loop iterates over each row of the matrix, and the inner loop iterates over the each column. Fprint writes each element followed by the space to the file. After each row is written, fprint add a new meanwhile character to move on to the next to the file. And the last concluding that the lines from 176 to 178, finally these lines close the file stream file using fclose file, ensuring that all buffer data is returned to the file and releasing any resources associated with the file. Here we conclude the multiplication code. As my friends explained a lot of things, I hope you all understood the code. Uh, Next, our Kiran will explain the how the outcome will be proceed.
Let me explain how our code actually works. Uh, as I earlier said that we are going to paste the path of the file text1 and text2, and we are getting result in a text file in our database. Let me run this code. Yeah. I think you are. Let me highlight it. You can see here multiplication matrix result is saved in user Kiran Singhi downloads result dot one text txt. Uh, it's saying that calculation is over. Your file is ready in your database. Let me see in the download section. Yeah, you can see this is our output. This is the test one and test two. We given input for this. We got a result multiplication of these test one and test two. These are the this is the product. Uh, this is a very heavy. We need ancient mathematics. I mean Vedic mathematics to identify how many digits are there in this. So this by this we have conclude that we can do calculate n numbers. N numbers of a large digit number uh, without any barriers. We can calculate them, we can add, divide, we can do any operation with help of C and its data structure. I think you got well knowledge of this information by multiplying very large digit numbers with the help of C and its data structure. Uh, I think everyone got detailed information. It's time to wind up this session. Thank you, everyone, being with us. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.